We are live.
Yeah.
It's live right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Truth Revival that we are so excited to be able to come to you and be with you in a time where we're not actually allowed to be together. But I'm so honored and I'm really excited to have my friend Nadine on. This has been a long time coming, girl. We've been trying for a long time.
Yeah. Finally make it happen.
Yes. And I don't think that it could come at a better time, to be to highlight purposeful living and to chat with you and to get to share some of the great things that you guys are doing. So I'm really excited to hang out with you tonight. Joshua, I don't know about you.
Well, duh. I'm such a background fan of Nadine's because I've gone to 2 or 3 Purposeful Living events now. And though I tend to be the only man in the room, it is always still just as inspiring. I was kind of plugged to come to the very first one to hear, Amber, I think your talk was on, what was it, like the power of yes, or knowing your yes, or something like that. Was that not so good? I remember being there like, oh my God, I knew I liked her, but I think I love her now. Like I think that was one of my moments where it really clicked for me. Yeah. And you just do such a great job with the events that you host and making people feel, I don't want to say alive, but it is kind of alive. I think when we're in connection and shedding love and being in community with people, that is a real way to feel a part of something. And I think that is the reason why we breathe, is to be in connection, and to feel like we're a part of something. So these events that you host and that you do, I just think you guys are doing really incredible things.
Thank you. It's been a blast, and it's been such an honor to link arms with women like Amber. And it's been, I remember you coming to events because it's hard to not stand out when you're a mix. 400, 500, however many women. But I think it shows how brave you are to be able to show up to those things. So,
well, women are my go-to. I connect with women more than I connect with men sometimes. That's not saying anything,
Oh, Joshua, you're hilarious. Nadine, one of the things that I love about you is God calls us to be fruitful on the front lines. And to grow, to bless, and to serve. And oh my gosh, I just got goosebumps saying that in reference to you, because I met you when this was just a vision.
That's right.
And a thought. And to see where it has come from then, I am just, God is good, and he is good all the time.
That's right. Yeah.
You were doing some amazing things.
It's been fun. It really has been just an honor, because it's just kind of like, I never expected that we'd be where we are already. And so it's been fun. We just keep doing the next right thing. That's all we can do.
Yeah. And you go ahead, Joshua.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that you were doing crazy, amazing things with the community. So if you would, for those who are not familiar with Purposeful Living, tell them a little bit about it. Give them your background and tell us why that.
Yes, I can do like a quick recap here. So Purposeful Living Inc. is a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to serve the modern woman. And we define that as the woman who feels the pressure to have it all together, but behind closed doors, she's hurting, searching, or lonely. And our real mission is to bring women out of isolation into authentic community, authentic Christ-like community. We are a faith-based organization, but we don't push that on anybody. We meet women right where they're at, and we just don't deny who we are. So, and we kind of have 4 pillars. So we do free coaching for women, and we walk alongside of them, whatever season of life they might be going through. We do groups, growth groups, small groups. We do events, larger events, smaller events. Our largest event was about 500 ladies. And then we do care team, where we just try to be the hands and feet. We try to support women who are walking through a difficult season, whether they need a meal or babysitting or their home cleaned, or, just to have a phone call with somebody or whatever they might need. We just try to walk alongside of them, or maybe we connect them with resources or help them put their resumes together, or whatever the case might be. So those are kind of our 4 pillars. That was Purposeful Living in a nutshell.
fast and furious. That's okay. Joshua, go ahead.
You know, we were talking just pre-show a little bit about how this time period, there's so much conversation about quarantine and COVID and the things we should and shouldn't be doing. And, you know, it's created a lot of fear, I think, in people, and it's created obviously some isolation and for some, I think maybe really struggling with loneliness and connection. So, you know, in making sure that this conversation doesn't go to the dreary side of things, you know, can you kind of share with us some experiences in, you know, in faith and hope and strength that you have kind of, you know, that you've gone through over the past couple of weeks of people being in community and serving and, you know, really kind of, I think giving the grace of God to people is huge, you know?
Yes. You know what? I will say that I used to be in the business world for a long time. And then when I shifted to the nonprofit world in general, I just saw just a different side of people. I saw this generous nature of people. So I have just really loved serving in the nonprofit world and like getting to know the nonprofit world. But especially over the last, I don't even know how long it's been, because it feels like thousands of days, yet at the same time, one very long day.
Right.
What day is it? Where are we? You know, but it has been just such an incredible experience. And I almost feel like Purposeful Living was created for such a time as this. Like, you know, we launched this about 3 years ago with the concept of we want to bring women out of isolation into authentic community. And then here we are being forced to be in isolation. And you realize, man, we don't have to be in isolation just because we are social distancing. And so we've really done a lot of things. We've reached out to women who are older and we knew were living alone. We reached out to those who we knew had some, you know, underlying health issues, and were able to support them and just have conversations, and just the joy of just somebody reaching out and saying, how are you? It was pretty cool. We've had ladies come together and create service projects where them and their kids were putting together boxes of toys that they no longer use for children in neighborhoods who can't afford educational tools. And they put together, I want to say like 25 boxes within a week period. We've had ladies reach out to different communities and bring whatever they might need. So we partnered with like Brookside communities, and we brought them canned goods, and we brought them meat and whatever they might need. And then we've also were able to bring groceries to ladies who financially couldn't pay for groceries. And we had women come together and pay for groceries, go drop off the groceries at their home, just no strings attached. I mean, it's just been amazing just to see this community rise up. And here's the cool part. We have a care team of, I don't even know how many women that just show up and serve and have been serving. But since all of this has started, we had so many new people show up to this care team call that I opened up that says, I want to be part of this team. And then we divided it out to, do you want to do outreach? Do you want to run errands? Do you want to pick up groceries? Do you want to make calls? Do you want to, so like, which role do you want to play? And they kind of filled in where they wanted to. So it's been really cool. So I don't know if that's the question you asked, but
yeah, no, 100%.
Absolutely.
Started rambling because that's just how I roll.
Well, you know, last week, or not last week, but the week before, unfortunately wasn't on last week. We were talking about how, you know, in times of, you know, something like this, even though we're all experiencing it for the first time, you know, we spoke into how important it is to still have a routine, right? Getting up, making your bed, getting dressed, like though your day is still operating like normal, though you are in isolation and really only impressing the walls of your house, right? So, you know, I think that it's also important to stay, again, in connection with people. So with that being said, you know, even if not with Purposeful Living, for you specifically, when you serve, you know, whether it be in God's name or just in the name of love, right? What kind of fulfillment, what does it give you? How does it make you feel? And why would you inspire, or why would you encourage other men or women to be of service to other people?
Yeah, that's actually a really excellent question. And here's what I have found. I have found that when we are in service, we take the focus off self and onto contribution, onto giving it out, and we get filled up.
Yes.
Honestly, I always encourage women who are walking through really difficult seasons to figure out one way that they can serve.
Yeah.
Because I really feel like that is a part of healing. That is a part of bringing joy to ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds kind of selfish. It's like, wait, I'm serving to receive. But
no, I've talked about that. I'm like, giving, I think even though you're giving, it's still selfish because it is so fulfilling on a personal level when you do give and you witness graceful receiving, even if it's resistant receiving, right, from other people. You know that they're getting something that they need, even if it's on a level of, you know, kind of topical, whatever, you know. I think it's so important. I really do.
And I think both are really important. I think giving is really important, being in, you know, in service and figuring out like, how may I serve right now? And it could be something simple, like writing a note to your neighbor, you know?
Oh my gosh, I was literally getting ready to say that. That is so funny.
But also it's like, how may I receive? Because I think it's also really important to receive. I've seen so many, in our case, women who have a really hard time receiving, but then they allow themselves to receive. It blesses everyone. It blesses them, but it also blesses the giver. And so there's just so much that can happen. So much wins that can happen.
I'll tell you, one of the most enlightening moments of my entire life was going through the leadership program that Amber and I both went through. There was an experience where you had the opportunity to do an extended program. And during that extended program, there's a feedback section called Second Weekend. And during that time period, you're kind of figuring out how you're playing this game of, you know, creating a world that you want to live in, and with your teammates that you're playing this game with. And there was a moment there where, you know, your teammates were able to basically step into alignment or step out of alignment if they feel like you have shown up for them. You know, and I remember standing in front of the room and I was looking around at the other teammates and I'm thinking to myself, okay, they're going to step in, they're going to step out, they're going to step in, they're going to step out. And, you know, when it was finally time to step in or step out, all of my teammates stepped into alignment, basically telling me that I showed up in service to them or in contribution to their experience with this program. And I remember just being like, wow, man. And the leader was asking me, she was like, what are you feeling right now? And I said, well, I'm impressed with how much I'm hard on myself. Right. Like I never feel like I'm either not doing enough or I'm doing too much for people. It's never just.
I know.
Kind of sounds like musical. I think we lost.
Good old Wi-Fi. He's frozen.
Oh,
come back to us. Come back.
Oh. No.
No. Maybe come back.
That was really good. Oh, there we go.
You there?
Oh.
Slowly but surely.
Shit. Okay.
We can hear you. Keep going.
You can't hear me?
I mean, a little bit.
Oh, that's okay. If you can hear me, you can just pay attention to the stupid face stuck on the screen right there. You know, so the first feedback was coming in and the girl said to me, she goes, on every phone call, on every moment that you're able to serve and give to us, you do. But every time we ask you how to give to you, you always have it handled. We don't know how to show up for you. I'm asking you, how do I love you? And the leader of the group came up to me and she just said to me, she goes, Joshua, when you cut somebody short of the experience of giving to you, that is selfish love.
Wow.
And I was like, I just started sobbing because I was like, whoa, I thought I was protecting people from feeling like I was a burden. Like, you don't have to worry about me. I'm good. I can take care of myself. But I was really cutting themselves short of their own experience of giving, you know, and I think that's so important.
Yes. Yes. I so agree. It's like somewhere along the lines, we were taught, or maybe we taught ourselves that like self-sufficiency is the way, but that's
right.
That actually keeps us separated, keeps us isolated. I think we have to do it all by ourselves. You know?
So I had to share on that. I just love what you said, that, you know, not only is giving important, but receiving is really important too.
Yes.
Amber, you know all about that.
Well, and I feel like during this time, we don't really have a choice to ask for help, right? Like
Right.
this is, there's just things happening in the world that we don't know how to shoulder alone.
Yeah.
And I do feel like the world has opened, like we've kind of, humanity's opened up a little bit to be willing to receive.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've got to be you've got to be experiencing that because you're having so many more people call and touch, reach out to get help.
Yeah.
I think that pride gets in the way. I think that our egos are big and we're like, no, we got it handled. No, we got it handled. But isn't the reason why we were put on this earth together is to serve one another, help one another with each other's gifts that we've been given?
Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. And what I will say though, it is a common thing that I hear in this season is I didn't want to burden because I know there are people with more needs.
Mm.
Yep.
And I heard this from some women who had really heavy needs, but they minimize their own needs thinking, well, there are people who don't even have a home to live in.
I actually, that totally resonates with me.
So
I get it.
I always want us to be willing to do both. Like I always really challenge myself to be willing to receive just as much as I give, because I'm not really a giver. I'm not really truly generous if I only give, because it kind of goes back to what you were saying, Joshua, with like this selfish, I don't remember the verbiage you use, but it's like this giving selfishly.
Selfish love.
It's selfish love to not receive. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
so I want to ask our viewers, what are you doing to serve while on quarantine? Let's get them involved. If you have questions for Nadine about purposeful living, get engaged, comment, and we'll talk about it. What are some of the ways that you're finding that you can be in contribution from afar? And it's wild how creative people are getting right now. Yeah. A friend of mine is going on this website where you can find servers who are out of work right now, and she is Venmoing $5 here, $5 there, just to give them something, and if everybody, or 50 people gave $5, that makes a world of difference. Yeah. So what are some other ways, Joshua? What about you? What are some things that people are doing in your world?
In my world, it is a little different simply because I'm at the top of a mountain with 3 neighbors.
But you're having telephone conversations. You're pouring
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, being in connection and communion is my blood bank. I'm such a people person, and I'm such a I think true love and true leadership is a servant heart. And I think it's important to stay connected with friends and family, but I also think it's important, I've hosted several friends out here at the house over the past few weeks that have decided to trudge their way across the country and come and stay here in quarantine. And, just being a host and kind of loving on people in that way is fulfilling. It's not only is it fulfilling, but at the same time, I get to receive in the same breath. But, I've witnessed a lot of things, through the media, through social media and things like that, of just some really incredible, beautiful things that people are doing to just show up for each other. And I think above and beyond anything, there has been a reconnection of humanity. Wow. And I think that is just, I think that's truly God's intention with this whole thing is, yes, this is sad. Yes, this is scary. Yes, there's some stuff going on, but there is an underlining wave of just beautiful stuff that's happening, that's reconnecting everybody. And I think reconnecting people with what matters,
Well, like you said, like Nadine said, the authentic connection. I have never heard, now the 3 of us have heard authenticity because we actually share one of the same leadership program. Like we share that, right? Like we've been through so much work. We've talked about authenticity, but the world is experiencing what true authenticity looks like and what it feels like to have permission to be vulnerable and to be authentic. I think that is one of the best gifts ever.
Yeah.
Because there is no hiding. You can hide in your own homes if you want, but in order to get help, in order to feel loved, you literally can't hide anymore. Hiding, like I feel like I'm doing right now because the sun is blazing in my window.
That's in all of the work that I've done throughout, internationally, the common breath of air that it has been in every program is, can be wrapped up in that simple saying, when in doubt, reach out. Right. There is no reason why people should be experiencing this type of experience alone. And I think if people need help to get creative about how to be in service or what that looks like for other people, why are we not asking that question? Hey, I love you enough to want to know how I can be of service to you. What do you need? Do you need a phone call? Is it a letter? Like, I think that there's, for some reason, we are afraid to ask some of these really simple questions because we don't want to look like we don't know the answers. And I think it's important to just be in discovery with people that we love and asking them, how can I serve you? How can I love you the best way possible?
And I love what you're saying because it doesn't have to be complicated.
No.
It's simple. And what keeps standing out to me from what you're saying is like just the question, how may I serve? Like if every day we just got up and we're like, how may I serve? And then we kept it simple and we just did the next right thing. I just think this world could be changed.
Yeah. Brooke Jensen just said, I love serving others, but have a hard time accepting help from others. Yeah. Love hearing these perspectives. I don't think that's hard I don't think that's an easy thing all the time for everyone, right? Like, I just don't think everybody receives perfectly all the time, right? Like there's just certain circumstances, certain people that I have an easier time receiving from and a more difficult time receiving from. But then I get to be in discovery with myself and kind of figure out what's causing me to feel resistant to this. What's causing me to feel like I'm not enough, or maybe I feel disconnected. Maybe this person and I have a history, like whatever it might be, right? Like, I think if there is a resistance to receiving from people, that's something that we get to discover about ourselves and really kind of investigate. It's not a have to, it's a get to. Like, let's up the ante on how well we know ourselves, right?
Yeah.
I like it. I like the discovery. I don't remember the exact word you used. I think it was discovery or curiosity or something like that, but just that mentality.
Yeah. I think that it's a scary world sometimes to be in self-discovery, right? I don't want to hear these thoughts. I don't want to feel these feelings. I don't want to have to confront these things about myself. But anytime we have a need to defend, justify, or be resistant to the world of connection around us, I think that is a get to, not a have to. And that's simply just choosing to change the mindset around that, right?
Yeah.
I think it's important.
And what is the other choice? If we don't do self-discovery, then what? Do we numb it? Do we deny it? You know what I mean? Like it's going to come out somewhere.
Right.
In an unhealthy way. So the healthy way is self-discovery, because then we can learn and grow and make different choices in the future. So
I think a lot of people don't even realize that they don't know how to receive. I didn't. Is that your little guy?
Yeah, he wants a hug before bedtime.
Come on, bring him in. We love to see. Hi, buddy. Oh, he's cute. Put him on. Oh, that's so sweet. Isn't this what it's about?
I cannot wait to have that.
It has been a day, let me tell you.
It's super awkward when I have to force my little dog arms around my neck to make them hug me.
Hi, buddy. How are you? He's like, oh my gosh, am I in this?
Let me tell you.
Yeah. Oh, Haven, through I was going through some old Truth Revivals, and the one popped up where we had Olivia on. Boy, my 9-year-old lost it. She was like, I have been asking to be on this show forever, Mommy. I can't believe I never got a chance. And I was like, never is a really long time away, my friend. One of these days I'm going to sit you down and we'll have a Truth Revival with Haven. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I like.
But what I was saying is a lot of times people don't realize that they don't know how to receive. I say that from experience. I was told one time, oh, you have the prettiest hair. When I wear my hair curly, she was like, you have the prettiest hair. And I was like, oh, yeah, no. I was like, and I started to make it all the excuses. And Joshua, this was before you, babe. And she said, can I give you a piece of feedback? Sure. Yeah, you're like, oh gosh. She said, you just took my gift away. I gave that to you for as much as I needed you to hear it.
Oh,
like,
I love that she stood in her power and said that to you.
How many times has someone complimented my hair now? And I'm like, thank you. Thank you.
She's like, I ain't making that mistake again. Look.
Yeah. Be good receivers.
Right.
Like, I think it's a good skill to learn. And here's what I've learned in the last 3 years of serving women. They are such better givers than they are receivers.
For sure.
I mean, when we have events where they are there to volunteer or to serve, I mean, they show up. When we have events where it's for them to receive, our shows are not as, I mean, we don't have as much attendance. It's interesting.
Oh, I never really thought about that.
So interesting. It's really crazy.
Do you think that receiving is a form of receiving could be asking for help?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I think it takes a little bit more gumption.
Yep. And we live in such a self-sufficient culture.
Yeah.
I got this figured out. I got it all. I got it. I don't need help.
I think it's a level of vulnerability too, because if you ask for help, then
100%.
then you're pulling up the veil and people see you, like they see your deficiencies, they see the gaps, and a lot of people just aren't willing to have that happen. You know, I used to be one of those, and now I'm like an open book. Yeah, I don't have this. This extrovert needs someone to call upon them to make sure that she is okay. Because one day I'm like, woo, love and life, I'm good in isolation. And the next minute I'm, you know, crying in the corner saying this day is no good. Like, it's an emotional roller coaster.
And I think part of it is like the fear of vulnerability, but I think the other part is we don't want to bother anybody. So I think part of it could be, do you know what I mean? Like, there's stuff that they need to worry about. But I just think isolation is something we consistently have to fight against. Like, we constantly have to be intentional about being in community. Because that is the way we are truly healthy and effective and empowered. And
well, and you've got an event coming up, apparently, a virtual conference. Yeah. Tell us about that.
So we have actually lots of virtual stuff going on right now. So people go to our website, they can check it out. And I posted the link in the private chat. I don't know what to do with that. But that has kind of all the different ways women can gain support or go to our events or kind of figure out how they want to plug in. But we have Tuesday nights, we have a virtual group, small group, where they can get coaching if they're struggling with something. Thursday nights, we have a small growth group. So for women who really intentionally want to grow. And then on April 25th, Saturday, so this Saturday coming up, from 10 till noon, we have a free virtual event. And we have it open to 100 ladies. I think we have like 67 or 68 registered already. So, and it's going to be, how do we take care of ourselves? It's going to be refreshing. It's going to be inspiring. It's going to be a really good event. We'll have a musician, a speaker, and just some connections and some really good stuff. So it should be good. It's our first virtual, so I'm excited.
It's going to be great. Nadine, everything that you touch is awesome. We always say you're like this. We want to put you in our pocket and take you with us.
Because you're like a little love magnet.
Yes, like this joyful, loving, giving, inspiring human that I just need with me all the time because I forget.
That's not me. That would be God.
Yes, that's 100%.
Yes,
but those are the gifts that He gave you.
Yes, and I definitely love to love.
And I'm thankful that you took His guidance and was willing to take the risk. It's risky. It's scary.
It's scary.
It is
scary to do what you're doing.
But we just get to do the next right thing.
That's right.
That's
it. When you follow your God consciousness and you lean into what feels uncomfortable, you are you're in flow with what God is willing for your life. I think when we stay comfortable, we miss the bar.
I agree.
So I commend you a lot on what you're doing, because I know it could not have been the easiest transition, but I applaud you.
One day at a time.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you obey and do what he's asking you to do, then he opens up more opportunities. So the very first event, I love to tell this story because I was late and it was like every reason not to show up. And I continued, like, I was like, no, I'm going. I walk in, the thing had already started, and there was one seat left that I could see, and it was in the front row. And there's like 250 people or whatever. And I was so embarrassed. I was just like, oh, I cannot even believe I showed up. And the next thing I see is like Nadine, you walk over and give me a hug, and then you walk up to the stage, and I turn around and there's somebody behind me that I know. And in that moment, I was like, it's really okay. Like, it's really fine. They're really just glad that I'm here. And in that event, I've just watched it grow. The next event had even more people. And then this last event that we got to have in person, or your breakfast was like 500 people. Your a fall event where it's the day's service on Saturday, which is my favorite event that you guys do. I love all of them, but I love that one. There were so many lives changed. My daughter, I don't know if I shared this with you, but I thought I'd take the opportunity. My 18-year-old stepdaughter, I asked her what was one of her most memorable times. I was doing this interview with her, this book interview. And she said, going to that women's ministry event on that Saturday, she was like, I've never felt so loved. She was like, I got to be vulnerable. She was like, I got to meet your people. She was like, that was probably one of my most favorite things that we've ever done. And I was like, wow, I had no idea, so that's the thing. Like, whatever you're doing is working. It's reaching. You're reaching down into the youth, which I love.
Yes. When we were supposed to do that, I was like, how? I don't have time. Just invite them to come. I was like, okay, let's invite them. And they're showing up and they're loving it, which is great.
I think that the thing that gets missed sometimes is that we're not talking about things that are over their head. They experience a lot of this too.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because we get real. And so, we talk about some weird things in there. And so, but they are experiencing it. So for them to hear it and go, oh, I'm not alone at an age where they're so vulnerable, I think is really powerful. So, yeah.
And you get the idea of women and men because we love our men too.
Yeah.
But you've been inviting women to share their stories and how God has moved and changed in their life for years.
Yes.
So ever since this has started and even before, I'm just really thankful that you were willing to step into what God was asking you to do and change lives. You're changing so many.
That's what Amber and I earlier this afternoon were talking about. And I said, I think the most memorable aspect for me was going to that event and listening to Amber give her story, but hearing the other women that were giving their story as well. I think it's really important to share experience on a vulnerable, transparent, authentic way around, the motivation, the pain, the fear, even the regret, the love, the joy, all of it that lives inside of these experiences, because it allows people to know that their experiences and the things that they're feeling, they're not alone in some of them. I was finding myself feeling connected to these women and their stories. And I'm a man on a totally different spectrum with no children. And I don't have all of these things, but there was still such a familiarity for me in these stories. And I just thought that was so powerful.
Yeah, you're right. It's just like when we can share honestly our brokenness and our fears and our doubts and our joys and there's just something healing that happens for everyone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I always tell the women that when they share their story, because a lot of them, they're scared to share it. I say, this is part of releasing it. Like, this is part of releasing that pain and healing.
It's the healing.
It's healing. 100%.
It's the healing. And it's the no longer believing that we're broken, because we're not.
That's what I was just getting ready to say in different words, is it's permission to just to be okay. It's permission to feel. Yes.
To be,
yes.
I'm human and I might make mistakes and I've been through really hard things and and I made it and you will too, you know? So
I was chatting with Rebecca Fleetwood Hession today. I think you know her too.
Awesome.
Oh my God, she's amazing. But she has coined this phrase that, you know, because I did the Rise and Thrive, Stand Tall in Your Story. And I am you, I see you, I love you. And I am like, there is no greater phrase in my life, because that is exactly it. When anyone, it doesn't matter who it is, shares their story, there is a piece of it that you can go, oh, yeah, that is me. Like I feel that, I have felt that. And at the end, I love you for that. I love you through that. Like it's powerful. It is powerful.
Yeah. And you know, the opposite is also disconnecting. Like when we hear speakers who just put their best game forward and only show the best. And it's like, I can never measure up to that. And so I am inferior. I am not enough. I need to become like this. And that is destructive.
That's right.
You know, so I just think there's just so much power. I think what this comes back to is like, there's power and vulnerability.
Yes.
There's power. And
that was one of my very first tattoos on top of my foot. Vulnerability is the essence. I think it's so important. I think it's so important. And I think it takes some real guts, you know, to just have an authentic, vulnerable conversation with people, you know, just people that you love.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be in formats like this, you know, where you're doing live videos and talk. I mean, just in people that you're in relationship with, like, hey, I'm not feeling great right now, or I'm feeling like I need this, right? Asking for help, asking for these things. I think it's so important.
Yeah. And I want to add with this part, this is something that I think about and talk about a lot. And that doesn't mean we want to like vomit every single ugly
right.
It's kind of like, okay, there are certain people I hang out with on the front porch, right? Like I have boundaries. There are other people I'll invite into my living room and into my kitchen. There are other people that are allowed into the loft upstairs. There are other people that are allowed into my master bedroom. And so maybe we just don't have to keep them off our property. Maybe we just allow them into the house. Doesn't mean it's fair, right?
Like I'm totally stealing that, just so you know.
Yeah.
I'm totally stealing that. I love what you just said.
Because I'm sure I stole it from somewhere else. I don't remember where I heard that or how I heard that or how long ago that was, but
that was great. That was such a great way to put into perspective what vulnerability can look like with the people that you're in a relationship with.
And it's not wrong. It's not wrong that the people who come to the front porch aren't allowed in the master bedroom.
No.
It's not wrong.
It's actually very healthy. Because some people don't belong in the master bedroom.
Well, right. Vulnerability on the front porch is the lady at the checkout counter I'm giving a compliment to, right? Vulnerability in my master bedroom may just be the person that I'm in, you know, that's my life partner. You know, that could just, they're totally different.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Tina Naughton. She says, happy Sunday, loves. And Chris Walden is with us.
She says,
her. I do too. She says power and vulnerability. So we're so glad that you guys are with us tonight. And hopefully you're taking a few pieces away as we share with Nadine, and we get to be with Joshua, who is so far away, but so close in heart. So
that's right.
And quarantine, it doesn't matter how far you are.
That is so true. We joke about this. We were going virtual anyway because he was moving. So this is like normal for us. And I feel like so much easier. We were
100%.
Yes. Trying to get people on Sunday nights to come and live at the studio is really hard. And that was part of our reason why we couldn't get you in. Sundays are sacred for so many people. You know, and we definitely want to respect that. So I'm just glad that it worked out this time, because you have a phenomenal story to tell. You create a platform for other people to share their stories, because each of our stories makes a difference for somebody else. Look, the reason why Joshua and I do this every weekend is it's our contribution to humanity. It's a conversation where you can get real. People are invited to be a part of something and to build community.
Beautiful.
And you are a part of our community.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's an honor to be here. This has been really fun.
I'm so glad it was you this week. I'm just so impressed with you. Amber did repaste the link in the comment section on the Facebook Live. So if you have any questions about wanting to be connected or having any questions about how you can be in contribution or serve, that link will take you where you need to be.
And if they need something, if they need groceries, if they anything, like we have a community of women who want to give, like that is, you be blessing us. If there's a need, we are there to serve it. So just let us know.
And the event this Saturday is from 10 to noon, right?
You got it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So if you want to get plugged in, please go to that link. There's amazing ways to be in contribution. There's a ton of need out there. If you have needs, like Nadine said, please don't hesitate. Nadine, what's your geographical reach?
We're mostly Indianapolis and surrounding areas.
Okay.
But we do have some other ladies throughout. And so if there's a need somewhere, we will try to get you connected. We've helped women out of state. So don't count yourself out.
Right. That's right. I wanted to hear you say that because I know for the most part, it's just the women of Indianapolis, but you are so magical at finding ways of showing up for other people in lots of different places. Wow. So if you are looking for a place to serve, Purposeful Living is an amazing way. The other thing, do you have any garb? Do you have cups or shirts or anything that you are?
We have all the stuff. We have mugs and t-shirts and tanks and zip ups and yes. So my friend Alex Perry is doing bed talks. So I sent your link to get you a shirt because she's that's her contribution. I'm doing the same thing with coffee mugs. So I'm purchasing coffee mugs for all of my friends and favorite non-for-profits. Today I'm sporting my Damar's quarter zip. Can't see it, but it's on the back. So, just be creative. One of the things that I would invite you to do is be creative in finding ways to be in contribution. I don't care if it's $1, a quarter, $5, whatever you have, all of it counts. All of it matters. Nadine, thank you so much for being on tonight. You are an incredible human, and I'm just super thankful that you are our friend and that we have this time together. Thank you. Same way, and you always see in others what you have within you. So thank you.
Takes one to know one, right? Joshua, any final thoughts?
No, I'm so glad it was you this week. Thank you so much. You are an impressive woman, and I love what you're doing for the community. So thank you.
Thanks, guys. This has been awesome.
Yes. Get back to that family, girl. Give your sweet boy lots of hugs and kisses from us.
All right. Thanks.
All right. You guys take care. See you
next Sunday at 7 p.m.
Yes. See ya.